Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all very much for showing up. It's a great crowd. Thank you very much. It's a big day for Hope House and our clients, and that's the most important thing. Thank you very much. Before we begin, I'm going to ask Major Edgar George Jr., the administrator of the Salvation Army Kroc Center, which is right behind you here, to do an invocation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Would you bow with me in a word of prayer? Father God, I'm reminded in your word in the book of Isaiah, we read, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." I'm reminded that this is a place of new beginnings. And so, Father, we pray your blessing on all that will transpire today and going on many, many years to assist men in the throes of addiction to make a new start, a new lease on life, to move from this place and to make this community that much better, to be productive citizens in this community. Father, we pray for those that work here, those that will be coming in and out of this place. Again, that your blessing would be upon them as they do a new thing. Father, we dedicate this place as a new beginning. So bless it, bless us, and all that have made this possible. We pray it in your name. Amen.
Thank you. First, I'd like to tell you that I am a man in recovery, in case you couldn't tell by looking. I have been in recovery a day at a time. A little later this year, I'll celebrate 35 years of continuous recovery. So it's particularly a proud day for me because I dedicated my life to dealing with people that are in the throes of addiction and substance use. So thank you very much again for being here. I was told not to talk too much, so I know you're all disappointed at that. I'm going to move on and ask Jennifer Gilbert, the Executive Director of the Kuehn Foundation, to come up and share a few minutes with you. This is a foundation that has been generous to Hope House in establishing this particular house.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jennifer Gilbert, and I'm here from the Kuehn Charitable Foundation. And we had a really tiny part of making this happen, but this project is very important to us. So I'll get to that part later. First, I just want to say how wonderful it is to see this and to congratulate and thank really everybody who actually made this happen, the staff from Hope House, people who live in the neighborhood, and the people that will live here. It's really amazing to see it so beautiful and in this neighborhood with the beautiful view downtown as well. If we had such a tiny part of making it happen, why am I standing here? Well, the reason is that about a year ago, the trustees of the Kuehn Foundation, and we're a small foundation, we don't have a lot of resources, but the trustees said, could we do something to sort of help affordable housing happen? That's one of our focuses. That would be easy money to get and early for projects, when projects really don't even know if they're projects. And that gave birth to what we call our Kuehn planning grants. And today, the reason this project is so special to us is that this is actually the first project that got a Kuehn planning grant and that went all the way through the development process, and today is open with people already moved in. So we're celebrating it. Thank you. Thank you for celebrating with us. And the really remarkable thing to me is that when we did this, and we put the money through CDAC, I should say, so the folks from CDAC deserve as much congratulations as us for choosing well. But the trustees said, you know, if we bat 300 on these, we'll be happy. And my family always makes fun of me for not getting sports statistics, but I knew enough to know that that meant, hey, we could take some really risky projects on. And the good news is that a lot of them are happening, and we funded another round of the planning grants. If some of you have projects that you think might fit with these, please see me or see the folks from CDAC, because this project happened so quickly, I feel like you guys almost made it look too easy. And I know it's not. And really what we hope to do, and I hope that these grants continue to do, is make it easy for folks to do projects like this and make at least the beginning stages a little easier, because I think we all know that recovery from addiction is hard. That's really hard. And the work that the staff here does every day to support people on that journey, that's really hard. But funding projects like this, that should not be hard, right? We want to make that easy. So I hope we'll continue to do our part to make it easy, and I look forward to more openings like this and celebrating more beautiful buildings and more beautiful support services like what this will provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Well, this is a big problem in substance use when you go through a treatment program and like Hope House. Where do you go from here? And there's just not enough of this kind of housing. And so I'm challenging some of the nonprofits. We do have a financial model that we'd be happy to talk to you about. It works. It's not a model if you're a for-profit agency that you would be likely to pursue. But as a nonprofit, it really does work. So I'll talk more about that later if I get the time. The next person I want to ask to come up is another person that we couldn't have done it without their financial help, is Ed Chase, the Director of Mass Housing Center for Community Recovery Innovations. Ed?
Well, good morning to you all. First, I'd like to acknowledge Governor Baker and Mayor Walsh and Secretary Sudders for all their support on this project and their leadership on the critical issues on both housing and in recovery. So thank you all. On behalf of our Executive Director, Crystal Cornegay, and the board and staff of Mass Housing, I thank the rest of you and everyone else who's worked so hard to get to this point today. These are always the best days, although you don't get to wear a hard hat today. You know, those are the days that's gonna. Mass Housing's Center for Community Recovery Innovations remains committed to affordable housing, especially those for most in need, people with disabilities, low-income folks, veterans, and those in recovery. Today, it's our privilege to continue our long partnership with Hope House, and special thanks to Fred and Paul and Ben and others for their tireless dedication. CCRI was a partner in the housing development of Hope House on Farnham Street about 10 years ago, the top floor there. And the mosaic of that building still hangs proudly in my office today. I don't think I have many others, so that was really quite a nice print. So today, this new endeavor becomes home to many individuals, and it also brings hope to them as well. And although funding is what makes buildings possible, it's human compassion and commitment to other individuals, a local community that's supportive, responsive government, all those things together result in what we see today. So it's not always quick, but this work's important, and it continues here in Dorchester today. So congratulations to you all. Thank you.
There are a number of people in the audience that I want to acknowledge, and I'll do that through the course of the program. I would really like to start with my friends from my hometown, Dedham, led by Selectman Mike Butler, Assistant Chief Michael Buckley, Jessica Tracy, our public health nurse, and of course Representative Paul McMurtry, wherever he is. Paul, thank you. Again, in the interest of time, and I would like to ask, we're going to have just 2 clients from Hope House that are going to be moving in, if they haven't already, come up and just share a couple of words about what it's like for them to have this place to come to. So Bruce L. I don't have my...
Thank you, and good afternoon, and welcome. Yeah, my name is Bruce. I'm an alcoholic and an addict in recovery. I also live here. I started this journey almost a year to the day. Which is a miracle for me. They asked me to speak today and basically tell you what this house means to me. And I could pretty much sum that up in one word. It means everything to me. The day I found out I was coming here was also the same day I found out I lost my house. So, you know, God didn't close one door without opening up another one for me. So I'm truly grateful to be standing here today. I'm truly grateful to have a place to live. It's definitely, when I walked through the door, it exceeded my expectations. I was really, it was really heartfelt when I walked through that door. I do this one day at a time. I don't do it alone. I do it with the support of my family, my network, and I do it with the people that are in this house. When I first came to Hope House, they told me I had to change the person I brought in here. And I have done that and continue to do that on a daily basis. Today, I am a productive member of society. My children are back in my life, as well as my family, which is a true blessing for me. I work local to down here at South Bay. I did get the day off, but my boss wants me in at 1:30, so I didn't get the whole day off. I was hoping for a full day, but anyway. I try to give back what was freely given to me by speaking at local prisons and jails, also at some of the local detoxes. Again, I can't thank the Hope House, its staff enough for this opportunity. This is a final step for me to integrate back into a community and into mainstream living. I want to close out by reading something that kind of ties this whole thing together. It was written by a friend of mine's niece, and he's also one of the band members. And give me a second, because I got to pull it up. And I lost it. Fantastic. Here it is. Have you ever looked at life from a different angle? Have you actually thought about what your life story will be? Will you make a difference? Will you truly make an impact? We don't know exactly what the future holds, but there's something you can do to make the most of your opportunities to make a difference. Living each day with intentionality. When you live each day with intentionality, there's almost no limit to what you can do. You can transform yourself, your community, and your surroundings. When you intentionally use your everyday life to bring about a positive change in the lives of others, you begin to live a life that truly matters, intentionally living each day to make an impact in others' lives. A passive life does not become a meaningful life. You cannot make a difference in the world by playing it safe and standing on the sidelines. You can make an impact. You can have a choice every day to make a difference in the world. When you look back on your life, will you have made a difference? Thank you.
Just a couple more acknowledgments. Councilwoman Janey from Boston City Council. I don't know if she's still here or not. I know she had to leave early. The director of BSAS, Allison Bauer. And where's my good friend, the sheriff? I got to tell you, Sheriff Steve Tompkins, as a kid growing up in the Bromley Heath Project, I'd never call a sheriff a friend. But, but we do today. So the next speaker I'm going to ask is another Hope House graduate, Frank M.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. It's a beautiful day. I know our friends that we have lost and family to this disease are looking down on us today with smiles on their faces. And I wrote something to show how grateful I am to this house and what they have given me. Today is not just a day of celebration and excitement. It is not just a big day for the community in recovery. It is an historic day for us who battle every day in sobriety. It's an historic day for the Hope House in the city of Boston. Today we make a statement against addiction and show our fellow addicts that there is true hope and happiness in recovery. I have never been in a program where there is so much care in such a family-like atmosphere. The employees at the Hope House, from the RSs to the CEO and board of directors, would cross oceans to help anyone begin their journey of sobriety and realize their own strengths in the process. Whether it's for one day or the rest of our lives, they will always be ready and waiting to give a helping hand to us who struggle with this disease. When I walked in the door for my interview, I sat in Maria's office and told her I had one day to find a place or I was going back to an unsafe environment. I told her how scared I was, but showed her how bad I really wanted this opportunity. She told me they wouldn't allow me to fall, and she got me a bed the next day. When I walked in the next day, with my bags packed, I was welcomed with open arms and truly felt like a son to everyone. I have had clean time in my past and thought I knew everything, but they showed me a different path, a new path, that taught me to be open, honest, and to help others. I couldn't be more grateful for that. While staying at the house, I can go to any door and talk, get any suggestions, and learn so much from every door. At one point, my counselor, Alan Ambrose, noticed I was becoming distracted and slipping with my routine. He sat me down in his office. He spoke to me with care and guidance that helped me get back on track and remind me what recovery is and showed me the bigger picture to come. He didn't just yell at me and act like I was a nobody. He cares about each one of these guys and knows everything about us to notice the little things that can take us out at any moment. That speaks waves about not just him, but the entire staff at the house. At another point, I fell into a depression and wanted to just go home and was struggling to get on my feet after falling out of routine. I did not know what to do, so I went and found another door, and that door was Mike Souza's. As I sat there and cried with my struggles and concerns, he looked at me dead in the eyes and promised me that neither him nor this house would let me go through this alone. He promised me he would make sure I would be safe and okay the day I graduated, and I can honestly say that he delivered. As I stand here and read what I've written from the bottom of my heart, I want to truly thank the entire staff at the Hope House for not only saving my life, but also showing me a better, healthier way of living. I look at everyone in this crowd and see nothing but hope and strength in all your faces. This house is named Hope for reasons like this. We who enter looking for it have been through hell and back, and we want nothing more than to be respected and treated like adults. This house behind me shows what we've earned and represents what's to come. The strength is inside of us, and the hope is given to us by the people who help and pave the path for us to follow. This house will not just give me, but everyone who walks through it, the door to a great foundation to build on until we spread our wings and go on our own lives, self-supported in our own homes. We will forever have a network behind us and an open door through Hope House. All they ask is just one thing, and I will forever try and do my best to follow it. Their one wish is for us to pay it forward. So everyone, my room number is 11, and my door, just like theirs, is always open. No matter what, I'm here for anyone and everyone, just like they showed me. So let's have a beautiful, blessed day and make history with another step towards a safer community and a better world for our future generation. See you later.
Again, just a couple more acknowledgements. Mary Ann Frangoulis from Moore, who was at every event I've ever been to, I think. There was another one. Victor Gravio, the president of ABH. Thanks for being here. Okay, so, you know, we could not, absolutely could not have done this building without the city of Boston and its administration under the leadership of Marty Walsh, Mayor Walsh, Commissioner Christopher, and I see my good friend over there, Assistant Commissioner John Meany. Unbelievable. They were just unbelievable in getting everything together to get all of the stuff in line, and we're very, very appreciative. With that, it is my great honor to invite actually my friend and mayor here in the city of Boston, Marty Walsh.
Thank you, Fred. Yeah, I want to thank Fred. We're good friends. He puts me behind Bruce and Frank. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. Bruce and Frank, amazing. Thank you for sharing today. I missed my meeting on Friday, and I missed my meeting on Sunday, so there's no coincidences that you guys shared today. To all the elected officials and all the people here today, I want to thank you for your part in doing this. I want to thank the governor for his commitment. Since he's been elected governor, I'll tell you, I've watched this stuff go on for a long time with the recovery community, and for a guy that that isn't in recovery, he certainly is committed to it, and he does an incredible job, and I want to thank you for that, Gov. Secretary Marylou Sudders, I had a chance to work with Marylou back in the day when she was a Commissioner of Public Health at the State House, and she was a great person to work with then, and certainly a great person to work with now. I want to thank her as well. The representatives that we have, Paul McMurtry and Representative Roy, and the whole legislature, thank you for your commitment as well, and all the other elected officials that are here. Thank you. Kevin Honan, thank you, Representative Honan, as well. Steve Tompkins, I talked. Me and Steve are on the trail today, on a lot of different places together, and I'll tell you, Fred talked about a sheriff. No one talked to a sheriff back in the day, and this sheriff gets it. He's about how do you rehabilitate people, and I want to thank Sheriff Tompkins for his incredible work too. A guy who's just doing it. Thank you, Sheriff. City Councilor Kim Janey, she's new to the scene, but she's not new. She's been doing this work for a long time in the community, and I was just listening to her talk to me and Steve about the importance of people turning their lives, understanding people can turn their lives around. So thank you, Kim, for everything you're going to do in the future and what you've done. I also want to give Steve Tolman a shout out, former chairman of, former senator, now the president of the AFL-CIO. Steve Tolman's first speech at the AFL-CIO when he took over, he left the State House. He went to work representing working class people, and he went on this 25-minute tirade about drug addiction. So I want to thank you, Steve, about keeping it up front. Hope House to the residents here, and if any graduates, congratulations to the staff, to the board, to Fred, to directors, to anyone who has anything to do with the Hope House. Thank you for what you do. Hope House is the oldest program in Boston. It's a continuous program in Boston. Fred was talking about getting involved. He has the model down. There's no question about it. He does have the model down, and I want to thank him for his friendship over the years, back when I was a rep and now as the mayor of the city of Boston, understanding the importance of moving these programs forward. It is so important. It's so important that we continue giving people options. As I was standing down there listening to all the speakers speak, I was thinking about all of the thoughts that are going to go through people's heads in this courtyard here. People that come here to this house that are in the beginning steps of recovery, some people coming back, the thoughts that go through people's minds are rampant, because you start thinking about your own recovery, your own sobriety day at a time. Then you start thinking about the wreckage of the past and the people you hurt, and how do you make up for them, and you want to get your kids back in their life, you want to get a job, you want to get your own home, and all that stuff's going to happen right here. But it's the love and support of this whole program that's going to help people put their mind at ease and move forward. So I just want to thank all of you for anything you did, anything you've done. We're planning a long-term recovery system in our city and our state. When I say we're planning it, there's no plan. There's no, this is what the final plan is. It's every day we keep moving, adding new things and trying to do new things. And it takes a village to do that. Just like recovery, it takes the support of the person sitting in the chair next to you and the experience of that person. So, I look forward to, as we continue to move forward, I look forward to being supportive of that. This home brings 25 beds closer to a system that we need. So we need to continue to move forward and continue to get long-term opportunities for long-term beds. 25 opportunities in this house to rebuild your life. 25 opportunities about doing it right. 25 opportunities about getting your treatment, living in a safe living space, education, being able to get your independence back, your freedom back, your family back. It's important. I'm reading notes. I shouldn't read notes. I just want to, again, today is exciting. I mean, the governor, myself, Steve, Kim, all the elected officials, we're cutting ribbons on buildings and businesses, and, you know, whether it's GE or Amazon or Reebok or whatever it might be, and those are great. We talk about all the economic development opportunities we present. We talk about all the great things for the city of Boston. We've added 85,000 new jobs. We've added 50,000 new people. We're building all this types of housing. But what's really important is what we're doing here today in this backyard. That's what's really important, because we're part of a system that's helping bring people's dignity back. So all of you in recovery here today, whether you're here for a day, a month, a year, 23 years, or somebody down here 35 years, it doesn't matter. It's a day at a time. And we have your back. And what we want you to do, we need you to be successful. We need you to be pushed forward. You never know. And when people say to me all the time, sometimes I bump into somebody, well, you know, I met a guy. Let me just end with this story. I was at a meeting back in 2014, right in the beginning of 2014, and I was talking to a guy, and he was struggling. He went back out and came back in. And I grabbed him at the end of the meeting. I said, listen, you know, you can do anything you want. And he goes, I don't think that's the case. I'm like, no, honest to God, when you get sober, you can do anything. He goes, looks at me, he goes, no, you know, it's not the case. And so we're talking back and forth, and he goes, you have your number? I gave him my number. I called him. So about 2 weeks later, he calls me up. He goes, you know that thing you said about doing anything you want? You were right, man. It's true. It's a day at a time. Fred, thank you. Whitey's here. Thank you, Whitey, for what you do. Thank you to all the people in the recovery world that give back every single day.
You acknowledged a couple of the people I intended on acknowledging. I do. He deserves a second round of applause anyway. Steve Tolman and Mayor Walsh. I want to take a second just to acknowledge the Boston Public Health Commission, and to be quite honest with you, Boston's angel, street angel, Amy Monks is here. I don't know of anybody that has more respect on the streets of the city of Boston than Amy. Thank you, Amy, for being here. Again, I want to bring up the next speaker now, and again, it's a friend of mine. We met a few years back, although she's been in and out of the state system for a while back when she was the Commissioner of Mental Health. And forward. So I don't know. She gets it too, as Marty just used those words. I mean, I think they're really powerful. She gets it. She's active in this cause. I don't know how she keeps up the schedule she does, but Secretary Marylou Sudders.
So Fred, do I get to mess up your binder here? Just kidding. I am actually, it's my honor to be with all of you today. I'm anchored between two of my favorite men, a Democrat, the mayor of the city of Boston, and our great governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Republican Charlie Baker. I'm their favorite independent, I'm sure. They actually both inspire me in many ways to be the best that we can as appointed public servants in the area of addictions, mental illness, and co-occurring disorders. But before I say a few things, I want to give a shout out to Fred. He comes up, he sort of mumbles into the microphone who the next speaker is and whatever. But it is Fred who gives us all hope, because it is Fred and his board of directors that aren't just satisfied with what they're doing today, because they see the future. And the future we're standing today is housing. Really, where do we go next after treatment? We go to an extraordinarily beautiful, respectful home that gives dignity and respect to, in this case, gentlemen who are trying to find their path to good lives. So gentlemen, congratulations. But to Fred, Fred, you are about hope. So, the treatment of addictions is the treatment of finding the path to recovery, and it is about hope. Having lost my mom to cirrhosis when she was 6 days after she turned 40, for a 15-year history of depression that no one took seriously, she turned to alcohol to take care of her pain. And in taking care of her pain, she took care of she lost her life, but she lost hope. She didn't find joy in her children. She didn't find joy in her church. She couldn't find joy in her work. And so the importance of being here with Fred, I had nothing to do with this project other than I'm a huge supporter of Hope House, is about hope. It is leaning into individuals who are struggling with addictions. It is leaning into individuals who relapse and not turning our eyes away, and always standing with someone who's in the pathway to recovery and not turning away. So Fred, I will always stand with you on this journey. And to all of you in this community, we need to stand together as community and lean in with individuals and not stand away and close our eyes. So with that, congratulations, Fred.
I used to say it all the time, but I'll say it again today. The best thing you can do with your life is to become a hope pusher. Trying to never leave an individual conversation without offering some sort of hope to that person. And again, I have the distinct honor of introducing our next speaker, who you all know as the governor, Governor Baker. But I want to say before bringing him up, this House, we didn't take one nickel of public money, not one nickel. So if you're a manager in some sort of nonprofit agency, we need more housing. Please let us know, and we'll try to lead you through the process. With that, I don't want to get in trouble for speaking too much. So I want to ask the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to please join us at the podium.
Well, the first thing I'd say is it's all been said, everybody just hasn't said it. And as I stand here, having listened to Fred and to the mayor and to the secretary and to these two guys behind me and a host of others that I had a chance to talk to as I walked through the building, and all of the folks that I've talked to who've been both in and out of recovery over the course of the past 5 or 6 years, I guess I would just say the following. First of all, we can add treatment beds, which we've done, over 1,000. We can significantly increase our investments in prevention and education, which we've done and will continue to do. We can work on the housing issues that the mayor and our administration and Representative Honan and the folks in the House and the Senate and the folks in the city are working on, and many of the people here are working on, and we will. But the thing we all have to share is an understanding and an appreciation that recovery is really hard work, that like everything in life that leads to success, there will be bumps along the road, along the way. That just because somebody fails once doesn't mean they don't deserve a second shot or a third shot or a fourth shot. And we need to recognize and understand that this is the hardest thing that many people will ever do. And it's the hardest thing that almost anybody would have to do. And I've spent a lot of time talking to people in recovery and people who are dealing with addiction. And I've talked to their families. and I've talked to the people who support him, this is really hard. And I think sometimes we forget that as a society. And I have conversations all the time with families who are dealing with this issue among a family member, and they're kind of shy about talking about it and shy about talking to me about it because they think it's embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. It's a fight. It's a fight for something better. And it's a fight against a relentless and brutal and vicious and determined disease. And it's a fight we should all share in whatever way we can to help people get where they need to go. And we've had some success in Massachusetts in dealing with some of this with a lot of help from a lot of the people who are standing here. And hopefully before the end of the legislative session, we'll get some more tools in the toolbox to help people who are fighting their way out and come up with some additional ways to support them. And that's all good. But in the end, to really succeed, you need people like the mayor who take it personally. You need people like Fred who take it personally. You need people like Marylou and the folks behind me and the folks in front of me who take it personally. That there's a path and an opportunity for people to get better. We all owe them our absolute best to help them get to where they need to go. And I do have to say, Mr. Mayor, that when I first talked to Steve Tolman about this, I didn't get the 25-minute version. I got like the 55-minute version. And he was talking about this stuff long before anybody else was, and God bless him for that. And the final thing I just want to say is I've been in and out of a number of these kinds of sober communities over the course of the past few years. And the thing that I respect the most about them is that shared sense of purpose and support that they bring to the people who are there, and the strength that comes from fighting a common enemy together and knowing that there is a door you can open and somebody you can talk to and somebody who's going to be there for you when you need them most. We should do and we will do more of these. But today is a glorious day because we have one more opportunity for a whole bunch of people to get better and to be better and to get the support and the assistance that they deserve. Congratulations to all of you.
I just want to quickly acknowledge a couple more people I forgot about my friend Kevin, Representative Kevin Honan from the Brighton, Alston area. Thank you. There are about 6 others, but I just had a senior moment, so you'll have to forgive me. Anyway, I do want to say thank you, really, to each and every one of you. If I missed calling you out, please accept my apologies. You're important to us. Everybody in this yard right now is important to us, as well as a bunch of others. So I really am grateful that you came. I hope you'll take the time to go through the building and see what we get for it. I want to say thank you to my board of directors. A number of them are out there, led by our chairman, Ed Collins. I'm going to practice forgetting that name. Anyway, thank you all. Please enjoy the food, conversation. If anybody wants to see me or talk to me about anything, please feel free. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you, Governor, Mayor, Secretary. Thank you.